Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law to go F herself at her baby sip and see? My wife's sister, Jen, 33F, and her husband, Matt, 35M, welcomed their first child about 4 months ago. Jen didn't want a baby shower but decided on doing a sip and see for close relatives to meet the baby. This happened last Saturday. My wife has met the baby before this, but it was my first time seeing them since the birth. About 2 months ago, my dad passed away unexpectedly in his sleep. It's been a really difficult time for me. But I'm in therapy and on antidepressants, both of which are helping. I wasn't really looking forward to attending the sip and see, but it meant a lot to my wife that I come with her and she kind of pressured me to come since I hadn't seen the baby yet. The event was just close family, about 15 of us total, and very informal. About an hour into the event, Jen asked me if I wanted to hold the baby. I told her I didn't really want to, but she pretty much shoved the baby into my arms. She then sat next to me and told me that she was sorry about my dad and that they regretted not being able to attend the funeral because of the baby. I thanked her and told her not to worry about the funeral, I understand. She then went on this weird tangent about a new life springing from death and renewal of energy. I had no idea what she was talking about and just kind of nodded along. Then she said that she hopes seeing and holding a beautiful baby will help me get over my loss. It was a weird comment and I looked at her and told her, no, this is not helping me get over the death of my dad. She got defensive and told me that it was supposed to be a joyous day to celebrate a new life and that I should be happy and not dwell on my dad's death. I didn't want to cause a scene in front of everyone, but I was pissed. I handed Jen her baby back and leaned in close to her and whispered, "Go F, carrot percent yourself, Jen." I then got up and walked over to my wife and told her that I needed to leave. I told her she can stay if she wants, but I need to get out of there ASAP. She asked me why and I told her I would talk to her about it on the drive home or later if she wants to stick around. By that time, Jen had gotten up and was on a warpath. She came up to me, still holding the baby, and poked her finger at me telling me I have no right to talk to her like that. That got everyone's attention and now everyone was looking at us. Matt came over to ask what was going on. My wife was confused, Jen was basically yelling, the baby was starting to cry. It was a mess. I told my wife I need to leave and she needs to make a decision right then. She ended up coming home with me. I explained what happened on the drive home and she said she understood why I was upset by Jen's comments and agreed she was out of line, but I shouldn't have said that to her. My wife has been getting a lot of grief from Jen and her parents, basically calling me the biggest asshole they've ever met. I don't even know if an apology will help. Not the asshole, Jen made your father's death about her and her baby, which is weird. There are some people who need to make everything about themselves and Jen is definitely that person. Not the asshole. My condolences to you for your loss. Jen behaved inappropriately, first, handing you her baby when you already said you didn't want to hold the baby. That's odd. Who does that? Secondly, she tried to spout some pseudo-spiritual, poetic bullshit when you didn't ask and clearly weren't interested. Many people don't like cussing, but I think she brought it upon herself. You're also grieving, and she kept pushing and became defensive even after you said it wasn't helping. She could have simply apologized, gathered her child and moved to another guest. You overreacted. Your SIL's remarks went off the rails and you lost control. I don't think you should apologize. Sister-in-law should be willing to accept that she struck the wrong nerve with her over-solicitous comments about death, etc. Her baby is not some vehicle of healing. She's just one of those mothers who can't think beyond her own pride of being a mother. Not the asshole if sister-in-law and ILs want to make this a forever conflict, not your problem. They should have the maturity to realize that sister-in-law just went too far. Soft dash. Completely out of line for anyone to tell someone unsolicited how long they should grieve a loss or what they should do to get over it. Totally valid to be frustrated and even angry about that. However, while I understand your frustration, telling her to F herself wasn't an appropriate response. You could have removed yourself without having said that. All that said, I am genuinely sorry for your loss and hope you're able to grieve and heal in whatever way you're able. Not the asshole. She's the one who brought up your dad's death FFS. She made you hold the baby against your wishes, and it didn't immediately give you amnesia about the death of your father. I'm sorry about your dad.
Not the asshole. Is your sister-in-law under the impression she's given birth to the next Lord and Savior?
She's sure putting a lot of responsibilities on its shoulders. Simply holding him cures one of all their anguish in life.
Sheesh, she's delusional.
Am I the asshole for making my bridesmaid wear a dress that makes her look fat? I, 26F, have always loved the aesthetics of the Regency era, and I wanted to incorporate it in my wedding. So I decided that my bridesmaids will wear empire waist dresses, like the ones seen in Bridgerton or Pride and Prejudice. Nearly all of my bridesmaids love this idea.
However, one of my bridesmaids, 27F, is very mad at me for insisting that they wear empire waist dresses. She claims that the dress looks unflattering on her due to her body proportions.
She has broad shoulders, a large chest, large arms, a small waist, and thin legs. She claims that due to the high waistline in her large chest, her waist appears much larger than it actually is.
She also says that that type of dress emphasizes her thick arms. She told me that those dresses made her look fat and triggered her past body dysmorphia and insecurities. She asked me if she could modify her dress to define her figure, but I said all the bridesmaids had to wear the same dress and I didn't want her to stand out.
She said I was being selfish and that I wasn't taking into account other people's body types. I said she was acting extremely entitled. It's my wedding and I shouldn't have to cater to her insecurities. Am I the asshole? As the bride, it is absolutely your right to choose the bridesmaid dresses. But, enforcing your aesthetic over the comfort of someone who is supposed to be your friend isn't kind.
You can decide what is more important to you, and she can then determine whether continuing to be in the wedding party is in her best interest.
I'm sorta thinking you are the asshole.
No one's looking at your bridesmaids and thinking, OMG, one's wearing a slightly different dress. They'll be looking at you lol.
I'd rather my friend, who I care about and love, be comfortable and happy during one of the best days of my life. Just work with her to find a modification, style that works with the other bridesmaids' dresses and then put her in the middle of the lineup next to you for photos, alter. It'll look really nice emo, especially if you keep it in the same fabric or color and just add sleeves or a corset or whatever she wants. Pick your battles, girl, and keep her friends close. I said she was acting extremely entitled. It's my wedding and I shouldn't have to cater to her insecurities. You are the asshole.
You don't have to cater to her, but considering that a bridesmaid is supposed to be a friend, you could be a little more understanding. Sounds like she just spoke to you about her feelings and asked if there was any possible compromise. If the exact dress style is the most important thing to you, then give her the option of stepping down from the bridal party, without any further hostility about it.
I don't understand the obsession with making weddings be more focused on an aesthetic or theme for the pictures than on making the people you love comfortable on a day that's meant to be happy and celebratory. Someday down the line, you will be looking at the wedding pictures and what will matter more? The aesthetic of them or the good memories of the loved ones who were with you your whole life? Nah, I guess. You can deny her this request.
It's just that overall it really shows what you value more even if you don't realize it yet. Let her do Penelope in Bridgerton S3 instead of Penelope in Bridgerton S1-2.
You can do the same vibe, style while having it still be more flattering. You are the asshole. She's a person, not a prop.
Go to a tailor, get it altered such that she feels better about it but it doesn't look wildly different. She'll probably actually stand out less with some subtle alterations.
Would I be the asshole if I were to challenge my wife on her period management? I'm about to lose it with my wife. I don't know the in-depth difficulties of tracking, managing the time of the month, but she is always getting caught out. I've never lived with a woman before my wife, so not sure if this is the norm.
Our mattress is covered in period bloodstains, and the first one appeared within 3 days of getting it, which I was really mad about, but didn't bring it up.
Many of our sheets are stained too. She often leaves underwear with heavy blood just on the bedroom or bathroom floor. If she's had to resort to using toilet roll, it's sometimes left in the toilet without flushing. She sometimes leaves her used pads on the bed and then goes to work. We recently got a dog and she was licking one of them the other day, which is the reason I'm thinking something needs to change. There have been times when I've mentioned some of the above, with responses along the lines of, "Grow up, it's just some blood." At least you only have to look at it. You'll never get how awful it is for a woman, paraphrasing. I've always been grossed out by period blood, and that's my problem, choice.
Since the first time I looked down and saw my penis covered in blood, I decided that's something I'd prefer not to go near again, and as juvenile as that may sound to some, I think that's okay. I've never tried to make anybody feel bad about it, but I've maintained that boundary. The only parallel I could think of would be if I were to leave used tissues around the house after jacking off, or to outright just do it on the bed and leave it to dry, which I'd obviously never do, but that's probably not a fair comparison.
Would I be the asshole if I were to bring this up and ask her to do something different? Not the asshole.
Getting her period at night in bed is one thing. That happens a lot. Especially if she's irregular.
She can't help it if she gets her period at night. Not picking up her dirty underwear and pads and cleaning up after herself is an entirely different thing though. Yes, she can't help getting her period, but no matter what, it's a bit gross to just leave things lying about. It's irresponsible, especially with pets. Growing up I had a dog that loved used feminine hygiene products. It was gross. We got a trash can with a lid to stop her. It's natural to get your period etc, but it's also natural to eat food, and we still put the scraps in the trash and wash the dishes. Not the asshole.
Getting caught out happens, especially if you're not regular.
And blood on the mattress can be managed by getting a mattress protector. But leaving used pads on the bed or floor is not okay.
Especially if you have pets.
It's not unreasonable of you to ask for them to be put in the bin when removed. Not the asshole as a woman with periods. Your wife is being beyond lazy and unsanitary. Like, yeah, it's normal to occasionally get caught out, even on the pill, which regulates your cycle. It sometimes can come earlier or later than expected.
But leaving her pads on the bed?
No. 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 And leaving her bloody undies on the floor? Nope.
Like, at least get a little trash can with a liner just for those if she plans to wash the later. Or invest in period underwear. Wicks is probably the easiest solution, especially for the bed, but don't leave them on the floor. Or the bed.
Not the asshole. It's not a woman only would understand thing.
This is highly unsanitary.
Yes, period are awful.
But I never let a used pad on my bed ever.
Shit. Your wife is feral. 1. Go buy a mattress protector. 2.
Get her to a therapist.
3. Start photographing everything and sending this to her immediately, telling her to stop and go and fix this mess immediately. Yes.
You may get caught short every now and then, but what you're describing is not about surprise periods.
She's just fucking nasty. You are the asshole for obsessively posting these fake, over-the-top period stories. Am I the asshole for not helping my younger sister just because she has cancer? Okay, so before the story I want to give background. Our dad is Pacific Islander, and our mom is just white. My sister, 14, and I, 17, were both born in the US. Our parents divorced when I was 6, I think.
However, I continued to live with my dad until I was 11, whereas my sister stayed with my mom.
I live with my mom now because my dad wanted to move back to the islands, but I didn't want to leave my friends.
However, I know much of my family who still do live on the islands, and keep in touch with my roots, I guess. This is mostly thanks to my dad. My sister doesn't.
Okay, so onto the story. About 4 months ago my sister was diagnosed with sarcoma, which is like a kind of bone tissue cancer. She's had to go through a lot of procedures and spend a lot of time at the hospital, and I've spent a lot of it with her and helping her. And while I don't mind helping her, when she did get diagnosed my mom expected me to drop literally everything to be there to help her. Meaning if she's at the hospital, I'm at the hospital. If she's undergoing a surgery or stressful procedure, I have to stop everything I'm doing, including school, and sit in the waiting room as support. But all that I could handle, and it was annoying, but whatever. However, recently the doctors finally decided they wanted to do chemo, and my sister's hair has begun to fall out. She shaved it, but is extremely upset about it, because she really loved her hair. The other day my mom suggested that I shave my own hair so a wig can be made out of it for her. For reference, my hair goes down to below my butt. However, the thing is, you're only supposed to cut your hair when a family member dies, and it's a tradition my entire family, dad's side, upholds. And to be frank, I like my hair and have no desire to shave it, as I have been growing it out since I was a kid. I explained this to both my sister and my mom, but both are instant that I should do it, and that a tradition like that is meaningless, especially since my sister might die anyways. I told them no. They've both asked several times more, and my sister even begging.
I once again reiterated why I wouldn't, and that asking me to was insulting.
Now my sister is upset and saying that I obviously don't actually care that she's struggling and aren't being understanding.
However, I've bent over backwards for her, so the fact she's going so far hurts. But she's also never asked me of anything like this before and is really upset, so I just don't know, am I the asshole?
Not the asshole.
Do not let them bully you up and stop missing school for your sister. Your mom and sister are asking too much. Anytime someone asks you to sacrifice something to prove your love, that is a step too far. A decision to sacrifice anything should come originally from your heart, not their lips.
Not the asshole.
Your sister insisting your hair is the only hair on earth that she can get a wig from is ridiculous, and your mother is enabling her.
Not the asshole. Sleep with your bedroom door locked, though. Not the asshole. Your mom can use her own hair if she wants to so bad. The American Cancer Society has a free wig bank.
Being voluntold to cut off what you see as your identity right now is asking too much.
Not the asshole. Your sister can get a wig from anywhere. She doesn't need your hair. She just doesn't want you to have it. She feels bad about losing her hair and she wants you to feel bad, too.
Watch out for ambush scissors attacks.
Not the asshole.